We were pretty much expecting you.
So you know why we're here?
Maria Connor, by any chance?
Just want to ask you a few questions.
Sure, have a seat.
You don't want to do this in private?
No, no. There's no secrets in this house. About anything. Yeah. I sent him back to the bar, but not so some hitman could come screaming round the corner and run into him. That's what she's saying, isn't it?
She's saying you more or less confessed to doing it.
Of what? What, to whom?
To her.
This is really starting to get out of order.
But you did go and see her today, didn't you?
To ask why she was making these accusations, to make her see sense. Yes, of course I went to see her.
But you didn't confess to doing it?
She's been wandering around the streets in her pyjamas, raving on about me like some madwoman. Our boss had to call the doctor to her the other day, apparently.
If you could just answer the question, sir.
I absolutely deny it.
Okay, if I could move on to this affair your wife had with Mr. Connor. I'm sorry.
It was hardly an affair. We slept together once.
And when did you find out about it?
About 2 months before we get married.
That was very forgiving of you. Asked me to be a best man when you knew about that.
It never really mattered to me, like Carla says. It was more of a fling than anything.
Even so, I'm not sure I would have had him at my wedding, let alone ask him to be my best man.
That's not how I saw it.
How did you see it?
As a way of putting it all behind us. Carla had chosen me, not him, end of story. I wanted to move on, and for us to stay friends.
And did you remain friends with him?
Very much so. His death shattered me. Look, if I wanted to kill him, I'd have done something smarter than have him run down in front of witnesses where any number of things could have gone wrong, don't you think?
Well, we'll leave it there for now.
If there's anything else, you know where I am.
Actually, there is one other thing. Mrs. Connor said you offered her £1 million to keep quiet about all of this. Over 5 years.
£1 million.
Well, is it true?
I can hardly afford to pay the factory wages, let alone throw bungs like that around. You can check my bank accounts if you like.
He's right. We're going through a really sticky patch at the minute.
£1 million, if only.
Why would she make it up?
We did offer her some financial help with the baby after Liam died. But she's losing it more than I thought if she's saying things like that.
Okay, we might have to ask you a few questions at some point, Mrs. Gordon.
Sure.
Right. We'll be in touch.
I'm starting to think there's some sort of curse in me.
Why do you say that?
Well, it's only a couple of months since I was in the frame for Rosie Webster's disappearance, the girl that was kidnapped.
Yeah, I remember.
Her father swore blind to the police that it was me. I had the motive, it all added up, it couldn't be anyone else.
It was an old teacher in the end, wasn't it?
I didn't do that. I didn't do this either. No wonder Fizz is so concerned about her.
So that was the first time that you'd heard about me and Liam, then, when Rosie showed you that video?
Look, I told you. It's in the past. Stop beating yourself up.
But I'm curious why you never said anything.
What was the point? It was over.
You know, it's not like you to let a thing like that go.
Well, I wasn't best pleased, but I didn't want to make an issue of it.
Did you say anything to Liam?
No. Or Maria. No point in breaking up their marriage because of it. What would you rather have had?
No. I'm just surprised you didn't speak to Liam.
It was a dilemma.
Oh, so you did think about it?
Obviously. I found out the woman I worship slept with my friend. Who wouldn't want to kick up an almighty stink?
So why didn't you?
Because it wouldn't have done any good. You'd have found out about it, would have argued. I might have stirred up feelings you still had for him, and I could have lost you. And since that's the last thing on earth I wanted to happen, I didn't say anything to anyone.
This is why we came home early, isn't it? You knew about Maria on our honeymoon.
Uh-huh.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't want to spoil things. We'd just get married. We were having an amazing time.
And this is why my phone went missing.
I'm sorry I lied. I did it with the best intentions.
So when were you going to tell me?
As soon as I talk to her and get to the bottom of it, which is exactly what I've done. £1 million. You don't believe that, do you?
No, of course I don't. That's crazy.
Then what?
I can't get my head around how you would have forgiven me and Liam so easily.
I didn't have a choice. It was either that or risk losing you.
What you did to Kevin? I mean, he just didn't back down, so you waged some massive big campaign against him. I'm more important than him, aren't I?
So?
So why wouldn't you go further with me or Liam?
Like killing him. Driving someone like Kevin out of business is one thing. It's just business. But killing? Do you really think I'm capable of that? Even if I was, I wouldn't know where to begin. You've got to believe me, Carla. I'd nothing to do with Liam's death.
Of course I believe you. Look, no more lies in the future, all right?
From either of us.